Hello, everybody. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like I am live everywhere. Thank you for joining me. I am live right now on Facebook, on YouTube, as well as on TikTok. So I am so amazed with today. And I wanted to come on here because it's Tuesday, and I come on Tuesdays to do Tuesday healing chats. And so today's message is about stepping into a new paradigm. What does that look like to you? And so for me, I'm going to talk a little bit about, I'm actually going to share what a new paradigm actually is because, a lot of people, we say these things and people don't actually understand. And so I'm going to break it down for you. And so thank you for joining. And those that come in, tap the screen for me. I appreciate that. I'm also always accepting gifts and love. Anything that you have, I've got it. But a new paradigm is a new way of doing things that replaces the old way. It changes the underlying assumptions and logic of how a system works. A newer paradigm can emerge in different fields, such as the economy, corporate governance, science. It can be in anything. A new paradigm is usually brought about by a paradigm shift, which is a radical change in perspective or approach. And so for me, I am at a place in my life where I am embodying the new paradigm. Hold on a second, y'all. There we go. A little bit better. Okay. So I am embodying the new paradigm, the shift, because the shift has happened for me. Anybody else in the comments? Let me know if the shift is happening for them, if they feel it, because typically what happens when you shift into those new paradigms is you begin to really feel it. Different things start happening to you, and it could happen physically, it can happen mentally, it more than likely will happen spiritually for you, but it's like a whole new way of being, a whole new way of thinking. And so, y'all, I don't think I brought no water. I don't know what the world is going through my mind. But anyway, I'm going to try to keep on through it for the next few minutes. But so in order to embrace and in order to really start to embody this new paradigm, one of the things that I am going to share is that you might want to start writing things down, start actually sitting in silence with your spiritual team. And I know that that is difficult in this day and age because we don't really even know what silence is. I mean, unless you're talking about Silence of the Lambs, different things like that, but we don't really know what silence is. And so trying to embody and embrace a new paradigm, a shift. And what happens a lot of times is, like, for me, I'm gonna use myself as an example because I don't want to talk about anybody else. And so I'm using myself as an example in embracing this new paradigm. So for me, I have worked so hard in so many years, y'all. I have been a nurse for 30 years, and I have worked in all kinds of different areas, different facilities. People ask me, what was your specialty? I said my specialty was making money because that's what I did. And it really didn't matter where it was for years. To be honest with you, that was really my motivation. I mean, as I, went to different jobs because most of them were the same. You deal with patients everywhere that you go, whether they call them patients, clients, customers, whatever they call them, because over the years, that name has changed depending on what industry you work in. And so I've worked in so many of them. I worked in mental health quite a bit. I actually enjoy mental health. I love it. I worked in mental health quite a bit. I worked in hospice. I worked in home health. I worked in the hospitals. I worked in nursing homes. I worked in assisted living. I worked in memory care twice. I did not like that, and I will never do that again. But yeah, so I've done so many different things. I've worked in clinics. I've worked in gastrointestinal lab. I've worked in prisons. I've worked in corrections. I've worked in detox and mental health. So I've done lots of different things. And so for me, it's like, okay, what is the next challenge? What is the next thing that I want to do? And not only in my career or anything like that, but in my life, because there are challenges that we encounter. And so for me, it's like, okay, I'm ready to step into something different. And I actually have been called to that. And I knew this. But for me, I had to get sick, y'all. I had to get sick. I mean, spirit was like so on me to make this paradigm shift. And so now that I'm here, I'm at this space where I'm making this shift and I'm actually doing the things that I'm being called to do. And is it easy? No, it's not easy. Not easy. But it's not, it is challenging. Let's say that. I'm not going to call it hard because I believe in the power of your tongue. And so I try really hard to speak those things that I desire or the things that I feel, things that that kind of stuff, positive things, and not, focus so much on negative things, because we are almost really trained in this world to be negative. So when we try to shift that paradigm, because that is another paradigm shift, when you've lived your life in a space where everything is always negative and you're always negative and you see negative and people speak negative and it's negative all around you, then when it's time to shift that paradigm in order to go and be positive, in order to make sure that you start to step into the law of attraction and you start really attracting those things, or you start really deciding that you're going to assume a thing, you're going to step into the law of assumption. There are so many different laws, y'all, that we can utilize in order to shift our consciousness. And so one of the things that I love talking about is being able to shift your consciousness. And one thing that I know is, after shifting my consciousness from deep religion, and for those of you that are from the South in the US, that there's deep religion there. The religion is just so deep and crazy. And so shifting that paradigm into that, from that into to really, really embracing and embodying our God self, embodying who God created us to be, and actually listening to their voices, whatever you want to call him, her, them. That is immaterial and is not even relevant. And I'm not going to go there because so many people have so many different names for the divine. And so you can call them whatever you desire. Because the thing is if you have the sincerity in your heart and you call for him, he's going to be there for you. Okay. Regardless of what you call him, you could call him Charles. You could call him George. There are so many different, people that embrace the differences of the names that you can call God, source, universe, the one. My mom calls it the omni. So whatever it is that feels good to you, that's what you call it. And that's number one. That's the one thing that I want to share, especially if you are on this journey and you're embarking into, flying high is what I call it. Because to me, religion has kept us bound and has kept us manipulated and brainwashed and kept us over here where most of the time we don't even believe. Most people don't even believe. And I'm going to say that right here. Most people don't even believe. They believe in the pastor. They believe in the church. But a lot of them have no connection with God. That's what I'm going to say. They don't have a connection with God. Because before I started really getting to this place where I wanted to know God, and not through a man, not through a church, not through the priest, not through a preacher, not through the bishop, not through any of those people, but know God for myself. And so that was the paradigm shift that I had to get to. And I got to it a few years ago. Now, I had decades in religion. Now, for me, my backstory is my grandmother was a pastor, preacher, teacher, evangelist, prophetess type. And so for all intents and purposes, I was a PK because she was my person. I used to hang out with her. I would go to these little churches that she would do healing sessions and preach at and stuff like that. And from a child, 3, 4 years old, she had me laying hands on people and praying, and they would get healed. So I knew that I was a healer. But what I did know as time went on, that I wasn't destined to do it in those churches, that I was not destined to do that, that religion was not something that I could sustain over time. It just wasn't. But God is something that I do sustain. And I say this because so many people are out here in these internet streets doing all kinds of things and talking against, God. And my thing is, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just because, that church hurt you, or you dealt, because so many people have dealt with church hurt, y'all. So many people. Churches have hurt people. My sister worships the ancestors and thinks the Bible was. I don't even know about that, but I think that's funny as hell, and I think it would probably be blasphemy in somebody's church. But I think that's funny, because I mean it actually could be true, because we don't know. Hell, I wasn't there. And I honestly haven't gotten any information on that, because that's not something that I focus on. Like I don't even ask those questions. People ask different questions, and it's according to what you focus on, and so for me it's like, nah, I don't focus on that. Whatever, however you want to deal with that, that's a different thing. I just try to focus on what's true, and what feels right and good in my life. And so I have pulled a card for all of us. And if you would like to have a message or a card, you can you can drop it in the comments and let me know. Hey, Melissa, thank you for joining on Facebook. If you would like to have a card or a message, you can let me know, because I'm pulling those today as well while I'm on here for these few minutes. But this card that has come is Dove. Okay. This card that has come is Dove. Yeah, that's better. Dove. And on TikTok, it's Dove. And so this card is perfect for the collective. It's perfect for just what I'm talking about. It says, take a leap of faith. Take a leap of faith. And I don't know if you can see on that card. Those cards are so pretty. But look at that dove. And you see where it is? Right on top of the world. So the dove is sitting on top of the world, top of the world, top of the world. Yeah, that is so really beautiful. So I feel like that is a card for all of us, sitting on top of the world, taking a leap of faith, because that's really what we have to do in this world. And when we start to move and shift our paradigms, that really is what it requires. And that's what it is taking that leap of faith, taking that leap of faith, letting God, source, universe know that you are ready to do it. And what I know is that doors begin to open when you take that leap of faith. Doors begin to open. It's the most amazing thing that I've seen. Doors begin to open. You look up, and all of a sudden, and it'll look crazy for a while. And this is what I have to say, because I'm telling you, and if you guys have watched me, you know that I am hella authentic, if nothing else. And I have no problem sharing lessons from my life. And so that's usually what I talk about, because I don't want to, be talking about anybody else. And, I'm never a person that's going to betray client, confidential information or anything like that. But I'll share from my life, because because you're watching me and you see me. And so, I just truly believe that when you start to really make that shift, especially if you start to really open up to the things of God, and, really understanding that it's so much deeper than what religion had for us. It's so much deeper, because they have all these rules, and, it's so much legalism and all of these things that have nothing to do with God, his spirit, or any of that. And so this next card that came for us is competition. And it says summon courage and self-confidence. And y'all, look at the card. Let me tell you. Is that not beautiful? I'm trying to see, is light shining all on it. Let me show you here on platforms. Let's see. There we go. Competition. Summon courage and self-confidence. So that is really to be honest, that is what competition does for you, is it allows you to summon that courage and that self-confidence. It allows you to embody those things. And so that is one of the things that I love about, doing the work that I do to help people to embody, their God self, to connect to their soul, connect to that in order to get your healing. Now, one of the things I want to share with you guys is that something that I do, and I do this every day and every night. I connect to my body. And I do this with the breath. I use the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And I connect with my body. And I tell it what to do. I tell it to start healing because I have some things that I'm working on healing. And so I tell it to start healing. And I talk to my cells, and I talk to my kidneys, and I talk to my liver, and I talk to my nervous system, and I give them instructions and tell them to heal. I talk to the cells, I talk to the DNA, and one of the other things that I do is DNA activation. Hang on, y'all, that one jumped. Oh, yeah, it jumped because it says dreams. Dreams. And it says, believe in your dreams. Believe in your dreams. And so what I feel like is that there are a lot of people out there that are, having dreams and things are coming to them, but they don't want to believe it. Maybe because it's, because it can be a whole ass thing, but people don't want to believe in their dreams. Dreams are happening, they're showing up, they're coming in your awareness, but they don't want to believe in them, and so that is one of the reasons why I feel like this card came, because it's like, believe in them. How long have you had that dream? Have you been dreaming for years and years? Was it a dream you had from childhood? What kind of dreams are you having, and why won't you believe in them? Now, I'm going to say something. Typically, I have had dreams, and I think I was afraid to believe in them. I think I was afraid. I think it just, because, we've tried things in the past. We've done things in the past. And, when we did them, we're like, oh, you know what? I don't think that's going to work, and then of course, what? It doesn't work. Or we don't say nothing and we just hope and we pray. That's a whole nother thing, And so when we do that, it's like, okay, all right, how's this going to work out, or we are so stuck in the how. And that is one thing I can say is I have definitely lived there. I've definitely lived there. Just being stuck in the how. It's like, okay, I hear that and I get this message and I hear that, God wants me to do this, or source or universe wants me to do this, but how am I going to do it? And then you start getting bogged down and caught up in a whole bunch of minutia, and you start, getting just stuck, which, that's another whole live. But you start getting stuck in the minutia, and it starts, getting to the place where, you can't even see your dream because you're so caught up in the minutia. You're so caught up in the bullshit. You're caught up in trying to figure out how it's going to happen, instead of embracing and having gratitude that it has happened. Okay. It's another little nugget, have gratitude that it has happened. And I can actually talk about that because I'm going to tell you, I manifested my house. And I actually, had a little meltdown with the spirit the other day about that. Because I said, now, I've been manifesting this house, and I'm manifesting this house. We manifested our land. The land is paid for. And now I was like, I'm manifesting my house, and we ran into a few little snags, a little stumbling blocks and this and that. I said, but you know what? I am still manifesting my house. I don't give a shit about snags and stumbling blocks. Somebody actually asked me the other day, well, when's it gonna be? I said, well, I'm not sure. I said, but no, I said soon. That's what I said. I said soon. And I was super proud of myself. And I really felt that way. I felt like it's gonna happen soon. It is. It's already happened. And I have given gratitude for it. And another thing that I do, I also visualize it. I have visualized my home. I know exactly what it's going to look like. Now, when I visualized it, though, I also thank God for it, this or something better. I've seen a few houses and I kind of have ideas of what I exactly want. And I'm not even really that picky, y'all. I'm really not. I mean, I really honestly need just more space, and I need cabinet space because that's what I don't have where I'm at. I'm in a tiny little apartment and I don't like those. And cabinet space is like, I don't even know what they thought. I don't think they had a thought about that. They didn't give a shit. They didn't think you were supposed to have things. And I have things, and not even as many of them because I knew I was downsizing when I moved. So I got rid of a lot of things. But yeah, so it's like you can make a decision and you can say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. And I hear the voice of spirit saying, okay, yes, this is yours or whatever. And you visualize and you're doing the work and all that stuff. Well, stay with it, because that is typically what happens a lot of times is, we start doing these things. We start working on manifesting. We start, doing the law of attraction and stuff because, we've all watched The Secret and we know how it's supposed to work. And so we start doing that and things just don't work. Or you start with affirmations, because a lot of people I know are doing affirmations now, and affirmations are amazing. I love them. I do them every day. But the thing is it's a long game. So, you have to speak those things, because many times we have been speaking so negative, and negative things have been just popping through, coming out of our damn mouth. And we expect to flip them in a minute, which you can. But typically you got to take a little bit of time in order to shift that particular paradigm, and you have to be a little patient, because that's what has to be. And so I pulled another one for us, y'all, and it's the owl. The owl. Now, I don't know whose spirit animal that is, but the owl. Follow your intuition. And that's another thing that I'm encouraging everybody to do, is follow your intuition. Allow your intuition to guide you. Your intuition is your higher self. It's your God self. Allow it to guide you and trust it, because that's the other piece. Now, for me, that was a piece. That was the part. And that's the part that's the journey that I'm on now. It's trusting it. Trusting. Because for the first time in my life, I'm getting to do some of the things that I desire to do. And I'm not having to work like a mule to get them. And so that is a definitely paradigm shift for me, because I have made plenty of money in my lifetime, but I have worked really hard for it. And so at this point in life, I have decided and I have recognized that I was not designed or put here on this earth to work like I have. And so I will not do that again. Period. Done. Not working like that again. Just not doing it. And so that is a paradigm shift for me as well. That is because I am shifting timelines. And I don't know if y'all know how that feels, but it feels amazing, because for me, I'm really moving into a state of flow more than anything else, and more of, really embodying that not worrying thing, because so many times, even though we say we don't, a lot of times we do. We just be worrying about shit. And then we be worrying about stuff that don't make a difference, and ain't nothing you can do about it anyway. And I always used to tell my kids that. I'm like, if you can't do anything about it, then why in the hell are you wasting your time worrying about it? Just let that go. But a lot of times it's not easy because that is how we were trained. It's like even like in school and stuff, and I don't know about other places, but in America, they train you to work. They train workers. So you go to school for 12 years and then you go for another 4 years, 2 years, 4 years, 18 months, whatever you go for, another 4, 6, 8, depending on if you want to be a doctor or, attorney. I think it's like 3 more years after college, just different things you can go for different, educational opportunities and stuff like that. But typically when you're going through school, they are training workers. That's what they're training. They're not training entrepreneurs. They don't care. They don't really want you to have a business or anything like that, because that is for, the 1%. And so they train workers. And so our, our mindset is to work. That's our mindset because that is how we were trained. That's how we were raised, and I think about even like my generation, you couldn't even just sit around and watch TV. Like now these kids can play on their phones all day long and watch TV all day long and all that stuff. Well, we can do that shit. You just did not do that. You were doing something. If you were watching TV, then you were washing clothes or washing dishes or folding clothes or cleaning up. You was doing something. You wasn't just sitting there relaxing. Now, to me, that was a good and bad thing because what it has done for me is I had to teach myself how to just relax and just enjoy a movie, because that is why we watch them, so we can enjoy them. But I had to teach myself this, because my mama was like, you watching TV? Okay, well, here's some clothes to iron. Oh, okay, well, here's some clothes to fold up. Or go get them clothes out the dryer and fold them up. Or did you finish washing the clothes? You know, did you wash the dishes? Especially times when we didn't have a dishwasher. Because we lived in a house one time and my daddy said, somebody asked him about it, was he going to get a dishwasher? And he said, I already got two. It was me and my mama. And it wasn't two, it was one because it was just me. But yeah, so just thinking about that kind of stuff, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, and also really realizing that when you make these paradigm shifts, some people, you're going to lose some people. You're going to lose some people. I can tell you that without a doubt. You might not lose a lot of people, but you're going to lose some people, because some people just can't go with you for one thing. Because when you make these paradigm shifts, you are ascending. And when you start to ascend, everybody can't go with you. Everybody can't go with you. Hey, Sean, thank you for joining. So this card I pulled for all of us is, let me see if I can pull it back. It's the light. Okay. Creative wonderment. Follow your passion. Creative wonderment. Follow your passion. So that is, honestly, I think all these cards I'm talking about that paradigm shift. I think all these cards have come really to confirm what I'm talking about, because I talked about when you're shifting in that paradigm, when you are having a paradigm shift, a true paradigm shift, you're going to lose some people. You're going to lose some people because people are not always going to understand where you're going, especially if they can't see it, and if it doesn't mean anything to them, they're not going to understand, and you may lose some people. And it's okay to do that. That is okay. Because what I've learned is that God will send you people, and he'll send you family, soul brothers like Sean here. Thank you for joining. He'll send you everything that you need in order to get what you got to get, and that's something that I know. That's not something that I can, that that I learned from somebody else. But as you start shifting in these paradigms, it's like, it feels so hard at the time as you're making these shifts, because what happens is scales are falling off your eyes, things are shifting in the background. You might have to leave a job, that just is not serving you, because a lot of times we stay in these jobs. Okay. A lot of times the rain came today, y'all. So I think we're getting ready to change the season. Oh. So, But yeah, and that actually for me is a paradigm shift as well, because I went out in the rain today, and my thought was, usually I'm like, oh my God, it's raining again, because I live in the Pacific Northwest, and that's what it does certain times a year, and usually not the summer, which was beautiful. But I heard it was raining. I heard it was raining in Atlanta, and I didn't know it was raining in Australia as well, Melissa. But it's like a rainy day for some reason, because I've seen a couple of people with different posts about rains all over the world. So, but yeah, so I changed my perspective in that, because I live in the rainforest, and it was a struggle when I first moved here with all the rain, because I came from the land of the sun. So it's like I went from one extreme to the other. And so I had to get myself together because I was really struggling. I think I fell into a little depression for a while, and just didn't realize, yeah, we had it pouring down too. That's why I'm doing this live now, because I need to go out. But I was waiting for the rain to stop, because I really don't like driving in it, because these people drive crazy in the rain. But yeah, so I was like, okay, yeah. So I went outside in that rain, and I thought, you know what? This is rain. This is abundant rain. That's what I thought. And that was the paradigm shift that I had to make about that, because I was already disappointed that it was raining, because I thought it was going to be another pretty sunny day like it was for the last few weeks. We haven't really had much rain because it's not that season. But right now, we're going into the rainy season, probably like next month. We're going into the rainy season. Sean's birthday month. Virgo season, we'll be going into Virgo season, and down there, is hurricane season and all that kind of stuff. Where we are, it's just rainforest, season. So we'll be getting all this crazy as rain. But like I said, the paradigm shift for me was raining abundance. That is what I said. I was like, all this rain, I said, it's just rain in abundance. Rain in abundance down for me. And that was my shift with that rain. And so this card I just pulled for all of us: face your fears. Face your fears. Release the power of fear. Face your fears. Release the power of fear. So when you step into that particular paradigm shift, when you begin to face your fears, y'all know that's hard. That is so hard. Oh my God. It is very difficult. And so what happens at that point is that you decide to take your power back from fear. When you start to face your fears and you start to see what it is that, you need to be doing, and you start actually moving in inspired action as you're facing those fears, then you release that power that fear has over you. You stop giving it your power, because that's what typically we do, is we give away our power. Why we do that, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I can assume that it is because you don't know that that's what you're doing. Because I would think that if you knew, then why would you do that? But then, you know what? That's probably just me and my logical mind. But just let it, just begin to really start looking at your life and look at, what you can do in order to move the needle forward in your life. And if you have to shift a paradigm, then really begin to start to embody those things and those pathways that you need to in order to get to the place you're trying to get. And if you don't know, do some research. Go on YouTube. YouTube, you can find almost anything on YouTube. Go on the Google or Bing or whatever search engine you desire to use, and just search for it. Go on Facebook and find a group that talks about it. Go on Clubhouse and find a club that you can join that talks about it. I mean, there's so many different ways, nowadays, especially. It's not like the old days where we had to go and look in the card catalog and go get those books that you couldn't check out. So you had to either spend some money and make some copies. Back then we didn't have phones where we could just take a damn picture. None of that. I spent many hours at the library and I checked out thousands of books. So, now it's like easy. It's nothing to it. And people still don't want to do the work. It's just a little bit of work too. you know and that's something too, because when you are entering into a paradigm shift, or you have decided that you are going to step into that paradigm shift, guess what? It's work. I mean, it's nice and it's a good thing that you decided to do that and step into that, but it's work, y'all. It's not just, sit back and, nah, nah. It's work. You have to do some things. Now, it might not be a lot of things, but you have to do some things, and you have to begin to really, really focus on what it is that you desire. So, in shifting that paradigm and moving the needle, let's see. Let me see. I'm going to bring up. Oh my goodness. Okay. So in shifting those paradigms though, it's like what is the first thing that you do? What's the first thing that you want to do when you shift a paradigm? The first thing is you have to understand what it is that you desire and what you're shifting to. The other part is you kind of want to understand what you're shifting from, because then that'll open the door for you and you can actually begin to see what it is that you're shifting to, you know? And so once you begin to do that and you say, okay, I'm going to go over here, it's almost like it's like a GPS. It's like you are going to a place that you've never been to. And so you punch it in the GPS and you say, I hope that I have, thank you, Sean. You say, I hope that I have the correct zip code. Because sometimes when you put the stuff in the GPS and you don't have the correct zip code, because there are sometimes, names of streets that are similar or the same. They may have been that name another time and now they've switched the name, but GPS still has it as whatever, or GPS has the new name, but you just have the old name. You see what I'm saying? And you don't have the zip code. So you didn't put the zip code in. So it could take you someplace else that you weren't trying to go. And it's the same way with this. It's like when you start setting your GPS, you set your spiritual GPS and you say, okay, it's time for me to shift. It's time for me to move. And a lot of times you'll begin to feel that thing within your body. You'll start to feel an uneasiness, and you'll start to know that it's time to move. It's time to shift out of that. It's time to, go over him. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for joining. But it's time to move. It's time to shift. It's time for us to do some different things. And once we start getting there, oh my God, and then we start opening up to the spirit, because one of the things I'm going to share with you is you want to say, I'm open to receive. And so for me, I say that every day. And that has been a huge game changer, because a lot of times we are shut down and we don't even fucking know. You don't even know that you were shut down. You don't know. We are shut down, and we didn't even know. So we are not open to receive, and that's one of the things that when I work with my clients, that's one of the first things I like to tell them, well, after breathing, because we're going to connect with the breath in the beginning of the session. And then I want them to say, I'm open to receive. Whether they say it in their head or out loud, whatever works for them, because everybody has different ways that they like to do things. And so whatever works for them, I like for them to say, I'm open to receive, and so in this actually tells yourself, tells your body, it tells your cells, tells your nervous system that you are open to receive. I am open to receive. And so once you do that and you really, 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 really begin to make that a practice, because everybody wants to do things one time and call it done. But that's not a thing even. That's not a thing. So what you want to do is you want to state that inside of yourself and say, I'm open to receive. And you know what? You can do that like every day, because I say it multiple times a day, because I know that that's what I need, so you have to decide and figure out what it is that you need. What do you need to say to yourself? What do you need in order to move the needle so that you can get from point A to point B? That's really what it is. And not talking about this elephant that you're trying to eat in one bite, because that is not going to work. Elephant is a huge ass piece of animal, and you're not going to eat that shit in one bite. It's just not going to happen. So you have to eat an elephant one bite at a time. I mean, if that's your choice of what you're going to eat. Now, personally, I'm not going to be eating no elephant, but whatever else I'm eating, I'm doing it one bite at a time. So, got peacock. Peacock, raise your standards. Peacock, raise your standards. Peacock, raise your standards. Raise your standards. Super, super excited about that, even because if you think about it, that really is what the paradigm shift is raising your standards, shifting over into another space, moving at other levels, onto other levels, opening up to new dimensions. Do y'all see how this can come together for you? How you can shift your paradigm and how it can be done. I was going to say how easy, but I don't want to say easy. I want to say how it can be done. Because, easy and hard is subjective. And so that's according to how, what you think about it. I'm going to say no, because I don't believe, I have chosen to believe that nothing is hard. I have chosen. All right, y'all. I'm going to probably pop off here because the rain has stopped and I need to go to the store. But I wanted to just come on here and do this Tuesday healing chat and talk about this paradigm shift. And so before I go, I have one card left that I pulled for us moving forward. Moving forward. Moving forward. And it is get ready for positive change. Get ready for positive change. Get ready for positive change. So if you caught nothing else in this live, catch that. Moving forward and getting ready for positive change, y'all. Getting ready and moving forward. So, moving forward, I have a 4-week workshop on the spiritual Claire gifts. So, if you are wanting to come and join me, and we're going to talk about claircognizance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, and I'm going to talk about the chakras that are connected to them and how you can actually develop them. And I have exercises that I'm providing, a PDF for each day of people that come through to get this workshop. But it's on the spiritual gifts, and I'm going to talk about the related chakras. And it's 4 weeks. It's going to be 4 Mondays. It starts on September the 4th at 3 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to put the link in the bio. I'll drop the link in the comments on Facebook and YouTube. But on TikTok, it's going to be in the bio. It's on Eventbrite. So if you have Eventbrite, you can even go on there. It's called Embracing Our Spiritual Gifts, and it starts September the 4th at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And so I'll be doing that for 4 Mondays. Every Monday after that in the month of September at 3 p.m. Pacific time, I'll be doing this workshop because I'll cover each one of the gifts in a day. So join me for that. That's going to be phenomenal. I cannot wait. If it's something that you've been looking for, like I said, this is a free workshop series. It's 4 workshops. It is free right now. But the next time I run it, it will be paid. More than likely, I will probably save this one and sell it. But it is 4 weeks. So it's going to be 4 Mondays, 3 p.m. Pacific time. And it's going to be on Zoom. So I will drop the link to the Eventbrite link to it in the bio, and I'll put it in the comments where Facebook and YouTube where I am also. So that is something that I am doing. If you are looking, you would like to have a private reading, I have angel intuitive readings with affirmations. And what that is a reading that you'll get. I'll send it to your email. You'll also get your affirmations that will come based on your personal reading. And I'll put them on a recording so that you can listen to them on loop. And so that is what I'm doing for the angel intuitive with affirmations, and that service is $111. So if that's something that you're looking for a reading, personal reading for yourself, that is something that we can do. I also have get your shit together sessions, and those are actually reading, healing, talk therapy sessions that you can come and join me, and we can talk and get you together. You're so welcome, Melissa. Thank you for hanging out. And then I also have God, it went right out of my head. I guess I'm not supposed to talk about it right now because it went, which is what's happened with me. I've had been dealing with long COVID, and woo, that memory stuff is something. It is a piece of work. However, I am so super grateful to be here, and I'm glad that I was able to come on here and have this chat with you guys. I will be back on live on TikTok tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'll also be live tomorrow on Facebook with my partner Megan Marie doing Ebony and Ivory on spiritual growth. So if that's something that you are looking for, we'll be on Facebook doing that. I think she might also, I know it's on Facebook. It will be on Facebook tomorrow at I think we do 5 p.m. Pacific time and 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll be on that time, and you can come and join us. Also, I'm also doing Sunday service with the Morrisons with my husband, Mr. Morrison. And stay tuned because we're doing some big things with that. I think we're going to probably open up the YouTube channel and probably also do a page on TikTok. I got to figure out how to do it. But that's something that, that we want to do because we actually want to talk to couples, and we have couple goals. We actually had some people reaching out to us to tell us that we were their couple goals, and I was just, my heart just was like, oh my God. So but we do that, and so we come on, we want to talk about all things love, and we believe that love is love. So whatever type of relationship that you have, whatever type of partnership, do you, but come and let's talk about it. And we talk about things that are going on in the society, and things that we share our personal narratives, things that we've actually been through, and things that we have handled and conquered and dealt with, and all kinds of stuff. And so we have a good time having that chat on Sunday. So join us on Sunday service with the Morrisons. You can join us on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok typically. Now, there are some Sundays that we're just on TikTok and YouTube because we like to go outside and do it. And the computer does not get internet outside because it barely gets it inside. but it definitely the internet is just not good for outside. I don't know what that's about, but because when I lived in another house, I used to go outside and do lives on the porch all the time. My internet was just fine, but here, none of that. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, and for joining me today with Tuesday Healing Chats. Hope that you got something out of it. And if you want to connect with me, send me a message on whatever platform you are listening to this. If you are on YouTube, I think you can just comment. I try to go back and read the comments. I am not perfect. Sometimes I miss some. Just FYI, I do try to go and engage with people in the comments. But if you are definitely looking for something, then reach out to me. And like I said, I have my YouTube channel. If you're on TikTok, go to my bio and click on my YouTube channel and go subscribe, because I have almost 1,000 videos on there, and I am, pushing that platform up so I can get monetized, y'all. Because you know what? Everybody else is on there getting monetized. Why can't I? So that's what I'm doing. So if you guys are on TikTok, go to my bio and click the YouTube link and go subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch the videos while you're there. because I have, like I said, almost 1,000 videos on there. Many of my podcasts, Straight Outta Savannah, is on there, which is also on Spotify and Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Radio Breaker, Listen Now, Podbean. Everywhere you listen to podcasts, you can hear my show, Straight Outta Savannah, where I interview spiritual entrepreneurs who are changing the planet. So if you are a spiritual entrepreneur and you are changing the planet, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation because my audience is here for it. I actually just interviewed, the last couple of interviews I had before this one, it was a medium. I interviewed 2 mediums, like back to back. So I interviewed some psychic mediums and they have been phenomenal. They've shared some awesome, amazing stuff. So if that's something that you are looking for, come and join me and listen to Straight Outta Savannah, wherever you listen to your podcast, and watch it on my YouTube channel. So that being said, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And like I said, on TikTok, I will definitely be back on tomorrow because I am challenging myself to come on these platforms more. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm about to really dial in because it's time for me to grow and it's time for me to shift paradigms. It's time to get from one place to the other. And that really is what the shifting paradigm is. It is moving from one school of thought to another. Getting to another place. And that is what I am so excited about this day. So, appreciate you watching. Let me pull one more card for us because I thought somebody might want one, but I don't know. Y'all a little shy. I don't know. Maybe because it's raining all over the world. Because that's what it seems like today is that day. Because I know they got the hurricane season on over there on the East Coast. And I don't know what else is going on in other places, but we had good rain here, and we hadn't had rain not like this in months. I mean, it was pouring down cats and dogs. Because I got ready to go to the store and I said, I'm not going out in that. And y'all see I got my long sleeve shirt on because it's cold. I think it's 60 degrees right now where I am. So anyway. Okay, so this is a really good one. This is one of my favorites, y'all. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Let things happen. Get into a state of allowing and let things happen. Go with the flow. And so that actually is a paradigm shift in itself. Going with the flow, letting things happen, getting into a state of allowing, and that is the space, where we have to be. That's the space. Especially when we are trying to consciously manifest, when we are trying to consciously manifest, we have to get in that state of allowing. And that is where we want to be. That's where we want to be. We want to be in that state of allowing. We want to go with the flow. We want to not take so much anxiety on us, and stay in these spaces of depression that, no longer serving us. We have to get out of those places because many times we are in dire need of moving. Now, one thing about me, I'm gonna tell y'all, and then I'm really gonna go because I don't want it to start raining before I can get out there. But we're in dire need of moving. Sometimes. Now, being a person, I have moved many times. Moving is not even a thing I even think about because I'll do it in a minute. It's just I love to travel. I like to go different places. I like to meet different people. I get bored, with the same old shit. I can't eat the same food every day. I mean, certain things I can now. When I was little, like I could eat chicken a la king every day. And I could probably eat oatmeal every day. Cream of wheat. Yeah, those things. Bacon. Yeah, I could eat bacon every day. But typically, I like different things. I like variety. I like variety in every area of my life. I like to shift things up. I like to move things around. I have no problem with that. A lot of people, they get anxiety about it and, all of this stuff and everything. And no, no, I don't. And I'm okay with all of that. All the shifting and all the moving. It's okay because what I realize, it has brought me so many experiences. So many experiences. Like I've lived all over the United States. Well, actually all over the East Coast of the United States. And now I'm out west, and I've lived in 2 states out west. I have not lived in the Midwest because that is not my area. I do not do tornadoes and cold and shit like that. And that's just not, I'm not going there. It's just too cold and too much natural disasters. And yeah, no, I'm not doing that. And so yeah, so I do. I love variety. I don't have a problem. I don't like the actual moving, but I like to actually get there. It's kind of like traveling. I love traveling, but I don't really like to fly. And but I will if I have to go. I mean, I can't obviously go to Australia or to Africa and not fly, or the UK. I definitely would have to drive unless I found a boat or something. But who wants to do that? But anyway, but I like to travel. I mean, so I like to go and see different things. I'm a museum girl. I like museums, and when I was growing up, y'all, we used to go to every city that we went to, because we used to travel when I was a kid. Every city we went to, we had to go to the airport because my daddy liked planes, and so I liked it too, because I was a daddy's girl anyway too. But I like planes, and so we would go and watch the planes take off. And yeah, weird like that. I kind of still like that. But I don't actually just go to every city to the airports anymore unless I'm flying into it. Now that's a whole nother, thing. But yeah. So anyway, appreciate y'all. Thank you for hanging out with me. Definitely we'll be back on again tomorrow. I'm actually looking into getting a schedule for TikTok, for Clubhouse, because I'm actually on there too. I actually have a club. I haven't been in there in, God, I don't know, maybe a year, but I've decided that I'm going to ramp that up. Um, so I can use that as a platform also to help people as well, because one of the things that I love to do is help people to connect to their soul, to their higher self, to their spirit team, and show them how that looks like, and really, really guide them in helping to open up their gifts. And especially those people that are coming from deep religion. So like if you were stuck in, like I was stuck in Pentecostal holiness for decades. Some people are stuck in Catholicism. Some people are stuck in Jehovah Witness. Some people are stuck in the Mormons. So many things that people have been through in the religious sense. And so I love working with people coming out of that and coming into, this beautiful uh, go with the flow, go with the flow process, state of allowing, instead of so much doctrine and dogma and shit like that. So the last card I pulled for us was potential, 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 potential. Think big for your future. Think big for your future. So another paradigm shift. Because typically, if they're telling us to think big for our future, that means we're not thinking big. That means we're thinking small, So we have to do that. We have to make that shift and really begin to think big. Now, I am not ever telling anybody that, oh, you just need to change your mind and just think big. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Because to me, that is not compassionate. Because if a person could think big without having been told to think big, then they would do it, wouldn't they? But if I have to tell you to think big, if I have to tell you to think big, then that means you're not doing it. Or if spirit, let's go there, has to tell you to think big, then that means you're not doing it. So it's time to step on up, do your thing, do you, and let's get it together. Let's become who we see ourselves as. Because you got people out there that they sing and so they see themselves, as Michael Jackson or Diana Ross or whoever you embody as a beautiful singer. For me, I sing too, but I'm a writer, and so I embody Maya Angelou's spirit. I embody her spirit. And when I get ready to write, and it is a remarkable tool. And so that is another thing that you can do. And so I actually am doing a workshop on embodiment as well. I just have to set the date for it, but I'll be letting y'all know about that so that we can actually go through how that process works, because that is something also that I have been doing as well, and I see results from it. So I don't want to talk anymore because I've been getting long, because I see I've already started rambling and I've been on here over an hour. But and that's okay on TikTok, but on Facebook and YouTube, I'm going to get off. So thank you so much for joining. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I really, truly appreciate it. Thank you for tapping the screen on TikTok. Those of you that have shown me love or given me any gifts, thank you so much. I appreciate you more than you know. And again, like I said, I'll be back on tomorrow, and on TikTok and on Facebook. I'll be on tomorrow doing Ebony and Ivory on spiritual growth with my partner, Megan Marie. So again, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope that your day is magical. I might actually be back on TikTok later, but I got to go to the store and pick up some things, and then I'll be back. So I may come back and get on TikTok later. Depends on how I feel. So again, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you, all of you. And I hope that, you're magical, whatever day it is for you. And I hope that that you feel the best, and I just hope that, everything is working out in your life. And I hope that as you're making your paradigm shifts, because if you've been here watching me, then you're probably in one. So as you're making your paradigm shifts, that things are moving for you. All right. So thank you. And again, I will see you guys later. Bye now. Hey, Dr. Marnie, thank you. Tracy, thank you. You're watching me. Thank you. Shemma Brookins. Oh, you're so welcome. I appreciate y'all. All right.